Hello and welcome to all you Scorpios for your monthly horoscope for Scorpio for September 2015. And let's have a look at what is happening. It's a very busy month for all of us because, and especially for you as well, because it's eclipse time. So I've made two separate videos of the eclipses, of the solar eclipse in Virgo and of the lunar eclipse in Aries. So if you are interested in a bit more detail, you can check out those videos. But let's get started with the eclipse that is most favorable for you. It's the solar eclipse in Virgo, and Virgo energy goes very well. It's an earth sign, goes very well with water, and you are a water sign. And it's happening in a very sociable house, in a very enjoyable house as well, in your 11th house. So this is an eclipse that has really healing capacities and also energy of understanding someone else. And for your particular case, it probably involves a friend or someone that is related to you in a kind of a network, because that's the 11th house. It's the house of like-minded people. So there could be a new friend entering your life, and that the connection is very much about understanding each other. You know, those friends or people who come into our lives where we have a very deep understanding for, and the understanding goes so deep that it's almost healing. That's the kind of energy that is around the eclipse. That is on the 13th of September, but it is longer than that. So it could mean a very important friend coming your way. That also is a bit of a mentor for you, because Jupiter is there as well in your 11th house. So it's not just a friend. It's someone who stimulates you to grow, who gives you that gentle push forwards, and that is good. So that eclipse is very positive for the Scorpios. And again, Scorpios are also quite associated with healers. Why? Because they are a sign, it's a water sign that goes very, very deep, and that is not afraid to go into the depths of one's soul in order for them to understand them, to help them. So not to rescue them, but to help them. And so that's one. Another thing is that there is still quite enjoyable, fiery energy going on in your 10th house of work. So there is Venus and Mars there, especially the first 2 or 3 days of the month of September. Venus and Mars are together, which always shows passion. And Mars is your ruler in traditional astrology. So you... when Venus and Mars are together, it's great passion, great intensity, and for you it's your 10th house, so it probably has to do with work, a great passion for something, or maybe it's a person at work, could be the case as well. But for others it could mean a project or something that was very creative, because it's in Leo, and you put a lot of effort there, and you are seen because of it, because you are now there in that 10th house, in a very visible house. So that's nice. And Venus goes forwards in September, so that's also nice. It means that you have sorted out your value when it comes to your work. So maybe you've changed jobs, or maybe there is a different kind of attachment that you feel towards your work, a different value that you give to your work. Maybe you used to value it heavily, and now it's a bit lighter. Maybe you valued it not so heavily, and now it's a bit more committed. So that's a bit of a lighter part that is going on in September as well. And last but not least, there is this activity going on the 6th to the 12th house, those axes. And so the Mercury Retrograde, as from the 18th, is in your 12th house. And that is something that I think Scorpios are not afraid of. Because Mercury in the 12th means that your mind is on hidden stuff. Your mind is on things that you don't want to reveal, things that are some secrets maybe, or things that are private and you don't want to come out yet. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be simply an idea that you have that you want to do, but it's not a good idea to already communicate it to. For instance, you can have an idea of a project doing at work, but if you would already talk about that, it would damage you. So Mercury in the 12th also shows that it's better to hide. It's better to put it a bit behind the curtains, you could say. And then when Mercury goes direct again, which will be then next month, you can come out with your ideas. So there's maybe a lot of dreaming going on as well. So a lot of, if you meditate, if you allow the thoughts not to direct them too strictly, which is not easy for Scorpios, because Scorpios tend to have that tendency to put some control into their thinking, especially when you've got Mercury there in Scorpio, if you have the Sun in Scorpio. So it is about letting go and let your fantasy work and let your inspiration. It could be an inspirational time, and therefore that you don't all share what you know and what you're thinking of, and that has its meaning. So at the same time, there is also a lunar eclipse on these houses, on these axes. There's a lunar eclipse on the 28th in Aries, and it's in your 6th house, opposing that 12th house, which is already emphasized. What does it mean? It means that those axes are, again, the healing houses. It's by something that comes to fruition, something that comes to consciousness, that relates to your health maybe. Because the 6th house is also the house of health, your physical health, but also your mental health. And it can be something, maybe a diet that you've been doing, and now it comes all to fruition. Now it becomes clear what it has done to you. And it can also mean work again, because the 6th house is also your day-to-day work. So maybe something comes out. Aries energy is very bluntly straightforward energy. So maybe you're going to feel a bit more emotional when it comes to work, or there are happening things at work that are really close to your heart. And there's a kind of a culmination there. But I think it's not, it's actually about honesty. And Scorpios do like that as well. You know, the Aries and Scorpio have the same ruler, Mars, which is all about going forwards and being direct. And there's some issues coming up, or some things, situations, people that are coming into the picture, and that is more about honesty. So you are certainly finding out about your colleagues as well. You know, if there were some things that you already knew, maybe that with that Mercury retrograde there, that you were already secretly thinking about, you see them popping up in your work environment by colleagues, for instance. So use the Mercury retrograde in your 12th house to get to know yourself better, because that's basically what this is all about. And Scorpios, they really, really like that, because they want to know who they are, and therefore every now and then they need to look at their blind spots, and the 12th house is certainly a house of blind spots, and having Mercury there can really pinpoint to those blind unconscious spots, and that makes you a stronger person. So a very interesting month, a Scorpio kind of month. There is lightness there with the energy going on in your 11th house of friends and aspirations. Maybe a totally new aspiration that is coming up as well, a goal for the future. But there's also some deep stuff going on in that house of the 12th house. It's also the house of letting go. So there could be a thinking of trying to let go of certain things, thoughts, people in your life, with the Mercury going retrograde there. So have a very good month, you Scorpios. Thank you very much for listening, for sharing all the videos, for supporting me. And check out the other videos of the eclipses if you like, and see you next month. Bye bye.